It's Aubrey Bracco from Survivor Co. Wrong. Start your wagon wheels and get rolling, because it's time to hit the Survivor Trail with Dwaine and Dave on Survivor Talk with D&D. Cock your wagon and float on through. It's sure to be a fun ride. Just be sure not to get dysentery and die.
Dysentery and die.
Do what?
Dysentery and die.
Welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwaine.
And I'm David.
Yep, and we are just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. You realize we've said that over 277 times.
And you realize it's probably my least favorite part of the podcast.
Is it really?
I don't like that part.
Oh, well, we should change it.
You should just say, and there's David. Hey, Dwaine.
Oh, okay. Welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwaine. My co-host is David. Hey, David.
Hey, Dwaine.
And we're just two best friends. You're right, because you say hey, Dwaine, a lot nicer.
Wasn't that more excited?
Okay, I'm going to change that in the notes.
All right, so we're going to go back and start over? Okay.
No, but y'all just got to witness podcasting improvement.
History.
While it happened. 277 episodes in, and he finally tells me that he doesn't like that part.
Well, I finally feel like I can trust you now. So.
Oh, yeah? You finally feel that way, eh?
And since we're on things I don't like, I'm just kidding. I'll stop with that. After 500, was it 550? I'll bring up something else.
Yeah. Tonight we're talking about the Survivor Millennials versus Gen X Episode 2, Love Goggles. I should have worn my goggles tonight.
Oh, yeah, that was a great picture. I appreciate you sharing with that. I shared it with a few folks.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible. We're going to read, listen to, and discuss your thoughts on the show as well. We have, 9 or 10 feedback tonight?
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot. Well, you should know you put together the
But not all of them are numbered because not all of them count.
Well, yeah. At the end of the show, Buff USA is giving away a Survivor buff to one of our lucky listeners. So wait around, listen for that. You can get a buff at buffusa.com/SurvivorTalk33.
You need not be on the internet to win. You don't have to be there to win.
No, you don't have to do that. We'll email you and go, hey, dude.
Yeah.
You won. Tell me. This is our best season of podcasting ever, David. And we have our listeners to thank. So thank you all who are listening right now. Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, sharing, supporting us. And if you're new to us, well, we're two best friends. We're dads, we're husbands, we're the old guys. We're 47 and 49, I think. David's 49, I think. Isn't that right, David?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're the old family-friendly Christian guys that do the show, do the podcast. So we're family-friendly and we love our D&D community. So check out our Facebook group, stwdd.com/Facebook. Oh, my goodness, we have a lot of fun on the Facebook group.
We do.
We have 877 members of the Facebook group. And, probably 30 that say stuff and 10 that talk all the time.
More than 30.
You think?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I hope so.
We have a lot of fun on our Facebook group. So not the Facebook page. I know you can find the page, but Facebook, the pages are so, you can't interact with people. So join the group. You have to ask and we say yes. So if you're watching live, join the conversation in that chat room. And that is chatwing.com/SurvivorTalk. If you're watching on YouTube, you can just open up another window. And if you like what you see so far, click that thumbs up button. It's right there, right down there, I think, unless it's over here. I don't know. It may be over here. Click that thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you. That's how YouTube goes. Oh, people like your videos. Maybe we'll start, showing them in other people's feeds and stuff like that. Those people that get 40,000 views and 2 million views like Mari. Yeah.
Oh, so. Mari.
I know.
We hardly knew ye.
I know. Therefore she goeth.
Yep.
Whatever.
As does Dwaine's chances. But go ahead.
Oh, I don't think so. All right, David, we have to give a shout out. We get to give a shout out to our newest patrons over at stwdd.com/Patreon, Patreon. Chris Diorio and Jessica Campbell. She raised her support. She raised it to 6 because the next 5 people before the end of October that do $6 or more are going to get in a drawing for a free signed shirt or mug for becoming a patron. So thank you, Chris Diorio and Jessica Campbell, for being patrons. We just thank you so much. So awesome. It's time for, David, Survivor Talk. All right, David. Boy, I got to make that fade out a little bit longer. I am excited about talking about this episode.
I am too. I really enjoyed it, especially it ended really well. I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's what you want to see.
Yeah, we got to see somebody as... I mean, I was going to say this, but since I've read his recap, I might as well quote him. Dalton Ross, he said, single-handedly changed 4 votes. You know, Michelle just rocked it.
Yeah.
Rocked it, man. She just, woo. You know, she is the picture of how a person of faith can play Survivor and still, you know, maintain their faith and not worry about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you watch her extra video of Meet Michelle, you know, she's very smart and she's definitely grounded spiritually. But but man, she's got the right attitude. This is a game, you know? And I'm going to deceive and do whatever I need to win.
She's also got a great demeanor when she talks to people. She doesn't seem like she's ever off kilter or really upset about something. She just carries that same personable tone with her.
Yeah.
And she's one of my initial reactions in that I think for the first 10 weeks, I'm going to be impressed by people not on my fantasy team. Yeah. Because last week it was Jessica. Of course, this week she disappeared with the Gen X tribe. And this week it was Michelle. How she calmly played it. Said, you know what? That's not good for me. And I'm going to change this. And it's neat because she used, in my opinion, her relationships that she'd made out of honesty and just trust. And she used those relationships and got the votes the way she wanted them. Good on her.
Yeah, she did. She did. And, you know, people who struggle with, well, I can't lie and stuff in the game. I mean, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have lied and done that. That's like calling a penalty on somebody for faking left and then going right. That wasn't honest. You shouldn't have done that. You should be honest with me. So have fun in Survivor. And yes, it is, David. I see you looking up at the sky.
No. I'm just saying the lying part to me is part of Survivor.
Exactly.
It's like being mad at somebody for buying a second hotel in Monopoly. It's part of the game. You have to deceive people. Yeah. And I'm sorry if you don't like that. If you don't like it, go watch something else. Go watch Big Brother. They never lie on Big Brother.
Yeah, they never lie there. So, Tina says it is 8 a.m. in Jakarta. She hasn't watched the episode yet. But Bruce says, the meaner she gets, the more I like her. Oh, way to go, Bruce, in our chat room. So, I have a couple of initial thoughts, David. Do you have any?
I had 3. I already gave you 1.
Oh, okay. I have 4, so I'm going to go ahead and give you another one. Nice job, CBS, on the 2 red herrings. No medevac. And showing episode 2 pics of Millennials with the idol throwing people off, including me, thinking they had won the immunity challenge.
So that was in our Facebook page. Was it Chris?
Facebook group, yes.
Posted in our Facebook group. I know, sorry. I keep going to the page. Nobody's ever there. And but there's plenty of Reese's Cups. But they go. But he posted. There was a slideshow posted by CBS.
It was on YouTube. Yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah, on Survivor CBS, and then their page, and then apparently it had the immunity idol.
The second to last image showed 2 people from Millennials with the idol sitting right there next to them.
Really?
And they showed that after they showed the stuff in the challenge. So they kind of led us to believe.
So it could have been right up to the challenge, I guess. So
it was a good red herring.
It could have been in the episode, but it could have been right up to the...
Oh, sure, sure. Just way to go. No medevac in episode 2 picks. So we were right about the David redemption arc.
Oh, yes.
It's already started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't tell your plans to the other alliance. I'm just,
I can't wait to talk about
Hey, Michelle, we're going to tell you what we're going to do, even though you're part of the 4 Kappa or whatever.
Even the 3 trifecta.
Yeah. We're going to tell you our plans.
Mm-hmm.
Bad idea. we know how that turned out. So
yeah, I think there's more to that, and then we're going to talk about it when we get to that point. I'm looking forward to talking about that segment.
Yeah, I got one more. We might we have a Survivor first? 2 winners in a row with the same name?
Different spelling, but same name.
Could Michelle win? Could she win?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So what are your initial thoughts besides the one you've already given?
As of right now, if she gets to the end, I think she could. But I think if people are smart, they won't let her get to the end.
Well,
because of her character. It's just the way she's been.
You know what, David? If they outwit her, outplay her, and outlast her, she won't make it to the end.
Well, then they'll deserve to win.
Yeah.
Good point. One of my points was, when are you going to listen to me? What did I say about Paul? I said it would be Paul. He would not go home.
Right.
And I also said Maury would get called out early for being too smart, too aggressive.
Yeah. You're just so... You're like Survivor Savantish. It's amazing. As we can tell by my driving predictions, I know nothing. I'm just here for the voice, I guess, and you're here for the brains.
And you do that well.
So
believe me, I'm like 50-50. I'm not going at a grade
I don't know.
Right
you're
now.
a lot smarter than me with Survivor stuff. So
I got that CBS loves karma. They love to edit for karma because Paul got it in buckets.
Right.
After ripping into David. Fantastic challenge. We got one challenge, but it was a great challenge.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about the challenge.
And I think that's it. I mentioned the first. Every week I'm going to be impressed by somebody not on my fantasy team. It drives me nuts. Yeah. So because I gave Figgy Andy agreed the flirt points, which she got, which she's overused, but I just didn't give Michelle the strategy points that she deserves.
Boy, are they oblivious or what? Figgy and Taylor.
And hey, props to Probst for finally getting in a comedic moment when he sticks his head around the corner. That was so funny. I loved it. Thank you, Hannah, for causing that. That was so good.
Yes, that was great. All right, so we start with day 5 with the Gen X tribe. They're trying to start a fire, and this is where that David arc starts to move towards redemption. All right. We get Paul saying Cece and David don't have a chance in this game. They are next. And David offers to help with the fire, and they basically laugh and kind of like, okay, yeah, right, whatever, while he tries. They made a point to show us, Brett did it, Chris, Paul, of course, did it, basically, like, yeah, right. If we can't do it, we know you can't do it.
Exactly.
But guess what he did?
He did it. And you knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I'm still perplexed that they've gone 5 days without fire.
I know.
That's a week. I mean, that's
and you had Flint.
I mean, and you're at camp all day.
I guess they got Flint day 4.
Right. The day before. Yeah, the day before this episode. The night before this episode. So this was their first day with Flint.
Yeah.
But
Zeke did it without Flint.
Exactly, but he's Zeke. But I wrote down that Paul said that David can't handle it out here. I said, right. You are definitely getting this Dr. Joe visit. Yeah. He's coming for you.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
And Chris said, David is like our puppy. We just keep patting him on the head until we have to vote him out. Keep him busy. And David just obliges because, hey, you want me to go out and find some rocks for us to sit on? And maybe an idol while I'm out there?
Yeah.
Sure. Nobody probably even looked at him. Sure, David, go ahead. Do what you want to do. When we go to trouble,
get some rocks.
Yeah, we gone then. So.
We know why it's taking you an hour per rock, because they're heavy.
Yeah. I love what he said. Finding rocks are dirty. So is digging for idols. So it works.
Yeah.
Like, you go ahead.
Yeah.
I love it.
Way to go. Yeah. He also said I'm more of a Cochran than an Aussie.
Yep.
But Cochran did really well. So if he wins, he's more of a Cochran. If he doesn't, he's more of a Fishback.
Okay.
I mean, the whole I can't break a stick thing.
Yeah.
They've done that every episode now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor little guy.
Was that right? Was that in the same segment as this?
Yes.
He makes fire, but he can't break a stick to put into the fire.
He can't. Yeah.
That's like when you can't cut the log. We're just going to put this tree on top of the fire as it is and then move it into the fire as it burns. I've done that before.
I remember Durham Warriors Survival Challenge, and I went out to y'all's camp with the camera and everything. And was it Bob? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Bob had like a the fire was, I mean, you could have cooked 1,000 hamburgers over that fire, and he kept pulling more and more and more stuff on it.
I was sleeping away from the fire. Wendy was crawling in the fire, and I was trying to get away from the fire.
So, I mean, when I first watched the episode, I didn't think he saw the idol. I thought he was like looking around like, well, crud, I can't find it. And he was about to walk off.
Well, they gave
I
it
didn't
away.
realize. Huh?
When he's standing there and the camera was zoomed, it went, and
I know,
zoomed
but that
into the
doesn't mean
idol.
he saw it. To
No,
me,
he
that
he
meant...
heard the camera. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
kidding.
Right. Yeah. They went, zoom.
That's right.
Well, anyway, I didn't think he had seen it, so I was surprised when he went.
Yeah, when they showed the close-up, I was like, oh, no, he's going to walk.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was going to walk away.
Get a Lucy. Don't pull a Lucy. Come on.
Yeah, and then what do? They give the guy, Gorilla Glue's really hard to, like, pry open, and so they probably, they Gorilla Glued the coconut together. Poor guy can't bust a stick, and you give him a coconut.
I can open this? Can I just hold this as the idol? Is it in here?
Can I just put this in my pants and think I get away with it? No.
He even asked the cameraman, is it in here? That was so funny.
Did he really ask the cameraman?
He asked him something. He asked the cameraman something because he almost walked into the camera, it seems like.
Oh,
it was so
hilarious. Funny. Oh, man. Day 5 with the Millennials. Anything else you have with Gen X before we go on to day 5?
Nope.
All right. Taylor and Figgy are quite infatuated with each other.
Yeah, I just wrote Tiggy makes living plans.
Tiggy? Who's Tiggy?
Taylor
Oh, Tiggy. Taylor.
I have a feeling we're gonna see a lot of them for a few episodes.
Yeah, well, let's just go straight to the night where it's called macking. Why is it called macking? Someone in the chat room explain why in the world it's called macking now. What they were doing, which I thought they were just kissing, but from what they made it sound like, they got a little hot and heavy.
I guess when you put cheese on macaroni noodles, it's like mac and cheese, so it's macking. I guess I don't know. Were they that close? I don't know.
I really don't think that's where they got the. Yeah.
Sorry, I've got a mac and cheese fanatic in this house, so that did come to mind.
So, lots of kissing noises. Michaela, I was like, y'all can't be for real. You stink. Your mouth is nasty. You got sand in your drawers, and you kissing somebody? That's disgusting.
Just tell us what you really think, Michaela.
Yeah. That was great. Apparently, she and Figgy have not gotten along from day one.
Right.
Right? I don't know if this is where she says it, but the whole bunny comment was hilarious.
It's the next segment, but yeah.
Is it the next segment? Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, day 6 then, Millennials. Day 6. Michaela calls him out, man. Talk about it in front of the whole tribe.
And Jay didn't even know. He says, "Dude, smile if you kissed her."
Yeah.
Taylor just does his best grin, but he's got a reason behind it. He says making out is a risky move, but millennials are dreamers, and I'm dreaming big. Like, yes. What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about.
He's dreaming of 39 more days of macking in the on top of bamboo. That's what he's thinking.
I listened to his private. There's an extra video of him about how they own the island, or they could own the island if they make it to the end, and how he thinks this early in the game, them being a couple doesn't really bother anybody, but it could bother him later in the game when the numbers get fewer. And he's right, which means right now is the time to break up a power couple. So he should be worried about right now. But the next thing we hear from Figgy is nobody cares about them making out. It's not going to put a target on them right now.
Yeah, except for Michaela, right? I'm
thinking, wait a minute, you're my winner pick. You can't be thinking like that.
I know.
That scares me.
Well, it's like,
everything puts a target on you.
She says that. Yeah, she says that, and then everybody back at camp is talking about it. Mari, Zeke, Jay, Hannah, they're all talking about it.
Yeah, I like what Zeke said. No matter what you are or what you're doing, you need to stay in the mentality of the fact that you're playing Survivor. And what they're doing can easily take them out of that mentality.
That's right. Whenever they're making out maybe that's where they get making out. Anyway, whenever they're making out on the bamboo, they are not playing the game. They are completely out of the game.
Right.
So Jay tells it like it is in the confessional, man.
What did he say? What did he say?
You're stuck with your girl while the boys are out bowling. He said other stuff. Go ahead. I'm sure you got the whole quote.
Well, no, I don't have the whole quote. What I wrote down was, so being home with a cute girl instead of being out bowling with your boys makes you a dork?
Well, it is.
Not where I'm from.
Well,
if I'm
it
with
is
the
if
girl. If I'm
not
with the
if
guys.
you're always stuck with her, though.
No, but he just gave the one instance about missing out on going bowling with the fellas to be home
That's
with
true.
a girl. And I'm like,
That's true.
I'll take the home with the girl while I'm dating her.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I had a girl like that when I was in high school where I never did anything with the guys. And they'd be like, you want to go out? And I'd be like, no, I'm going out with so-and-so. And, well, why don't you go out with us? Well, she'd get mad if I did that. So I think that's kind of where he was going.
yeah, but I've never been in that kind of relationship. So you were with the wrong girl.
Not at the time.
Connie should let you go out more often. I know it's kind of. But I love what he said after that. He said, no power couple has ever lasted in Survivor. Ever. And I was hoping we'd get one of those, those movies on AMC where they give you like info about the movie while the movie's going on. I wanted one of those clips that came up and said, he's never seen All Stars.
Yes.
He's never seen Rob and Amber play Survivor.
Yeah, that's right. But as a general rule, yes.
I think
Power couples don't do very well.
I think the main thing behind his point that was correct was obvious. Power couples do not do well, like you were just saying. Yeah, as a rule, they do this early in the game. That's not good.
Yeah, somebody should go up to him and go, "I know Rob, and Taylor is no Rob."
And
since we're in the whole presidential debate area,
and Figgy is no Amber.
And Figgy is no Amber.
Not yet, anyway. She's got a better chance of being Amber than he does of being Rob. I can tell you that much.
Well, Taylor's totally blinded by his infatuation. I mean, it's just.
But
they're both like, I don't care if this is bad for our game or not. We're just going to tell each other it's not because this is fun.
And Taylor even says he's thought this through, and that's how he's going to play it, which we don't know what context that was in. And then the only confessionals we get of them two are about their eyes and their smiles. So we don't get any strategy talk in their confessionals. We're getting the context of they're just googly-eyed and in love. Yeah. So they are the actual power couple in the beginning of the game, and they might not be in power. We don't know that. They're just a couple right now. So
well, they're certainly not in power.
No, because it wasn't them that got themselves out of trouble.
No. I have one more favorite line before we end day 6 with Millennials. Well, this part of day 6. Jay says, this power couple, it's like a bullseye for a nuclear missile. That's how big it is. It's like, yo, this is where we need to blow up because this is not good. I cracked up when he said
He's
that.
Prophetic. He's right. He's exactly right. That was the target.
All right, let's go out to the Gen X tribe where we get some amazing footage.
Tell you what, day 6 was amazing. I've got 2 pages of day 6.
Yeah, well, why don't you start talking about day 6?
Well, I love it because there's no talking. There's nothing going through it until the end of it. But Ken goes fishing and in the crevice finds an octopus.
Yeah, that was
amazing. That's amazing. Great clip, beautiful water. It was like a vacation commercial for Fiji. Yeah, that's how nice it was. It was awesome. Yeah, and I like how I love Ken even more in this episode, especially in this part. He talks about when he lived off the grid, he fished a lot. He knows how to fish. I can fish. I can supply. I can bring food to the table. But what this game needs is bonding and social connections. Like, dude, you are so into it. You are so right. And then he admits that he's socially shy.
Right.
And I could just see David watching at home going, really? You look like a Ken doll and you're socially shy.
Well, that's what he said.
You poor thing.
I mean, that's what David said, though. You're like, we're like scientific opposites.
Oh, man, that picture cracked me up when they're standing beside each other. That was so funny.
But apparently Ken is one of those good-looking guys that's socially shy.
Yeah. And he
says... Which, of course, girls end up loving that.
Exactly. So. But he says, I don't get the impression that he might be the one that would turn on the Gen X if they bond or swap. Remember, I was thinking him being so young, he'll probably think he's more of a millennial. I don't get that impression anymore. He still seems more mature than his years. I love how he sees David's evolution, his growth, inspiring to him. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a model talking about this scrawny little neurotic bald-headed guy, and he's an example to him. He's inspired. Right. I love that. That is such a great story coming out of this episode. And that's cool. He's inspiring Ken to become more social.
Yeah. And David said that one thing that Andy Baker has said several times. You got to find that one person.
One true.
You can trust. Yeah, that one
Absolutely.
true. And they have found each other.
They have. They talk about Paul's posse. They both agree, which is interesting because I didn't get that impression last week. Paul seemed like the third or the fourth. You know, when they were talking, it was like Jessica, Brett, and Chris.
Because they showed a lot of Chris and Brett last episode.
Yeah, this week we got nothing. Or Jessica.
Apparently Paul is running the show over there.
Yeah, or at least they're letting him think he's running the show. But and Cece seemed to say the same thing later on.
Right.
And I love what Ken said. You know, he realized they were bonding. They were getting along. He said, well, we can sit here at the bottom and get picked off, or we can do it. And David goes, or we can do something about it. Yep. I'll meet you at the well.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And what I really liked again about this, and I know I'm a Gen Xer anyway, but what I loved about this was, and like you said, David came up and said, I need one person, like you just said, is one true, like Andy Baker calls it. And Ken is it. I love it. And I love that we did not get an immediate confessional from Ken that said, I can't believe he showed me his idol. What an idiot. Right. Ken didn't say that at all. In fact, in a secret scene that's on CBS.com or YouTube, Ken says that, wow, that was really something. He said, I wasn't even sure it was real, just like a string with a shell on it. And then I saw the note and it's legit. And he trusts me. That's really a sign of trust. I mean, that was a very honest and, humble confessional. That was awesome. There was no deceit from Ken. I love that. Somebody they can trust. And that's a really neat thing to find that one person you can trust.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with David showing Ken his idol.
Ken's
like the only guy. I mean, he's like the only guy Ken's got. I mean, David's got out there. I mean, normally I'm like, don't show your idol, but I mean, David's kind of alone.
I don't think you have to have a one true to be successful, but for somebody like David, who's neurotic and scared of everything outside his front door, I think having the one true is like a crutch, and it's going to help him, especially somebody that's like Ken, that he bonded with and he connected with really fast. I kind of don't have a problem with it either. I understand people saying don't show the idol that soon or don't give it away. But you know what? You got to having that one person that you can count on is like having an extra blanket when you go to bed. Yeah. It's knowing that it's always there. And they both agreed. They actually said that for them to go forward, Paul's the one that's got to go.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I guess he is seen as the leader in that group. That's interesting.
Yeah. So day 6, Millennials, this is where we get the confrontation. But before we get that, we get Hannah struggling with the coconut, and we get a little bit of Mari talking about how this is so much more real than her 2D games.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I was waiting. I guess it didn't happen, we would have heard, but I was waiting for Hannah to take off some fingers the way she was chopping that coconut.
I know.
I was a little nervous about that.
That's the first thing I thought. When I saw her, I was like, no!
Yeah, and they're just back there watching. Yeah. Yep, you're doing great.
Yeah, just, chop right there towards your... The closer you get to the finger, the better the chop. Yeah.
That was crazy.
All right, so then we get Michaela.
Before we get that, we get the line. I listened to a movie podcast, and they're to the point of tired of hearing people say, "Are you talking to me?" Because they always say it kind of goofy, like not as good as Zinnia did. And they're like, do people have to keep saying that line? Well, here's the line that we get every season, and it came from Mari, who's to me was not a longtime fan of Survivor, but she said, "We really didn't realize this game would be so hard."
Right?
Really? It's hard every episode that you watch, especially if you watch 33 seasons. It's really hard.
Yeah.
So, and I know we can't fathom how hard it really is, but I mean, that's just like saying, this is tough. Yeah. We knew it was going to be tough. So, and then we get to Michaela.
You need to pull the bunny out of the hat. You can't just come in with the bunny.
That's
what a great line.
That is awesome.
What a great line.
I wonder if she heard that somewhere, if she just came up with it.
I don't know, but that was just way to go. I don't know if you listened, but way to go.
And funny as it is, it's so survivorly true.
Yeah.
If you've got a weapon, you don't come out saying, I got this idol and I'm going to play it whenever I want. No, you wait until it has an impact.
I actually think that phrase has several meanings in this situation. Yes. So I'm just saying. No, I think she meant several meanings.
The one I took it as, if your your weapon's going to be flirting, then you should do it in a way that people don't see you using it. Because if they see you using it on day one, they're going to take you out for that reason. They see your weapon and they know how to control it. Because later on, Michelle tells Will, We see what kind of person Figgy is. We know who she is. We can take her out later.
Right.
You know, dealing with Mari's and other situations. So,
yeah,
Figgy's kind of made herself known.
Yeah. So we get the confrontation, which obviously there's some tension there, you know. And Adam goes, Figgy is messing up. You don't come blazing out of the gate. You don't get in a cat fight, and you sure don't get in a showmance. So we get Adam doing the
narrating,
telling of the story. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah. Narrating.
You think Michaela's mad just because she's in a relationship and that she's just happy, or you think she's really upset that she's given away her way of playing the game? I mean, it just.
No,
I think it's just.
There's. Oh, go ahead. I thought.
Well, I was
going to
say I think it's kind of a flaunting thing. You know, we don't care what y'all think. We're going to do what we want to do, and it's kind of like, I don't know. Maybe it's like playing a sport the wrong way, but still being successful at it, or not successful. I don't know. It's just. I don't blame Michaela for being dissing on her, you know, because it's like, really, that's what you're going to do? But I don't know. It makes me wonder who's got alliances, because if I was in line with Figgy and not necessarily Taylor, but for her to act that way with him, and I don't know. That made me start thinking about alliances and who's talking to who.
Yeah. I think Michaela's just annoyed with her for reasons that they really haven't shown us. I think Michaela's just, well, she may just be also annoyed with her just with how her and Taylor are acting.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like, oh, I'm so tired of watching y'all cuddle and talk all flirty and fun. You know,
yeah.
Get
for
over
6
there.
days it's been growing. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so it's just the annoyance of having a couple like that around you, maybe. So,
but it was so worth that line. You pull the rabbit out of the hat. You don't walk in with the rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. So we go back so we're going to day 6 with Gen X, and we get some more Paul talking about being in control. Now, I didn't really like the editing in this scene, because you know how they did the going back and forth from one thing to another?
Yeah.
You see Paul slowly becoming more and more sick.
Mm-hmm.
While you're hearing Ken and Cece talking about taking him out. And it just didn't sit right with me. I'm not like I was offended. I just, you know, but it was just like, it didn't sit well with me. I didn't like it as much.
Yeah, well, it's a questionable edit, because I don't think that conversation was going on while it was happening anyway, because I think they all came from different directions, it seemed like. Yeah. But I mean, it could have been, but I get what you're saying. I mean, it didn't really bother me that much. It was just.
No, I didn't expect it to. I just.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable. I was like, oh, come on. I don't know. It just made me uncomfortable.
So, but they're talking, you're right. Ken and David talked to Cece. She's completely in favor of it because she's obviously on the bottom.
Right.
And something I learned in the secret scene, because when we were waiting to go on, I sat here and watched a few videos. There's only like 4 or 5 online. And Cece had one of them. And it was explained. Actually, I'm sorry, she posted it on her Facebook link, and I watched it there. I think she's got a page you can like and watch videos she posts. And then she posted an explanation of why she agreed to go with Ken and David, partly because she had no other choice. But she also said they had Lucy agreeing to join them.
Oh, so Lucy was there?
No, she wasn't there. But in her secret scene, she said they'd also. They'd also, yeah, she was in the challenge. They'd also talked to Lucy. So they had 4, and they would have been looking for one more.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think they would have got it with the way the numbers were.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Paul was just getting worse and worse, and just kind of like he was like a slowly falling. Man.
Yes, you could see when he looked at his hands. You knew. Watching it the second time, I knew they were getting numb, and he was like, "I can't feel my hands." And all of a sudden, you know, his mind was just. And he is a former medic in the Coast Guard. He had a secret scene. Talked about how scary it was. He said, "I could not put 2 and 2 together as to what was happening to me." That's how out of it he was.
And yet, Chris knew right away. And
yes.
This wasn't shown on the episode, but Chris knew right away and knew what it was and wasn't worried at all. Mm-hmm. He didn't bother to tell everybody, but at the same time, you know, you knew 99%. There's a chance you're wrong.
Right.
So, but I loved it. I loved them showing production step in. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. That was great. She didn't seem to take too long either. She pretty much was on it pretty quick. When he took that water and then he spit it back out, it was it's like that's when they said, "All right, you guys need to back up. Let us come in."
Yeah, let us come in. Get out of the way. A far cry from what they did with Scoop and Fell in a Fire. Mark Burnett said that if the cameraman had helped scooping, he would have fired the cameraman.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I saw that in an interview.
I think I read that. I don't remember seeing that anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I read it. That's what I'm saying. I read it. So, far cry from that. Scooping his hands were dripping skin.
Yeah.
And production didn't step in. They just hung around and waited.
Well, as soon as he woke up, he ran into the water and then came out and his skin was hanging from his hands.
Yeah. However, that's different than a heart attack. Scooping wasn't about to die.
Yeah.
So, okay. Production stepped in because he was, they thought he could be dying. We got to take care of this. And the interesting thing I read today was normally home base and everything is right on the same island, but they're 30 minutes away. The doctor's 30 minutes away by boat.
Yeah. Because
So,
they're on a
right.
small island. They're not on a
Right.
big location, right?
Yeah, it was, woo. Man, so they had to wait. That's a long time to wait when you're thinking something's bad's happening and you don't have any medical equipment out there.
Right.
I'm like, get a first aid kit out there or something.
This is interesting. This is 2 seasons in a row where we've seen the other side where we see production.
Right. And I loved it.
This is interesting. I know.
And I want to tell you something. They weren't sure because I think last season or one season ago, they talked 2 or 3 seasons ago, whatever. They talked about how every time they call in the helicopter, it's like $10,000.
Yeah.
Right? They called in the helicopter before they even got to the island. That's how concerned they were.
Yeah, well, they heard possible heart attack, and that's all they needed to hear.
Yeah.
They didn't need a checkup. They go ahead and, it's not worth the wait. And I like that. That's, again, putting the people first.
Well, I think they called the helicopter before Dr. Joe said possible heart attack.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Yeah, that they called, as soon as production stepped in and like, we got something bad going on. Anyway, it was a really good scene. Not, unfortunately for Paul, but fortunately for Paul, it was just dehydration and whatever else the other thing was.
Yeah.
So,
more on Paul's
exhaustion.
Secret scene. It's not on our Facebook page. Maybe Mike or somebody will link it on there. He could have a change of character a little bit after this. It really woke him up.
Yeah.
And it made him realize a few things. And I wonder if he's going to be different after this. It'll be interesting to see. He really got a little bit of an arrogant, edit this week, last night. And I wonder if it's going to be a little bit of a change for him. He's worried now that he's going to be seen as the weakest member of the tribe, but he's not. It was really a slap in the face to him, like a wake up call, not an insulting thing, but a wake up call.
Right,
so I'm really interested to see how he's going to change, if he's going to change, or if we're going to get a different edit after this has happened.
Yeah. So Sunday goes, I need Paul. Also, I care about him. There's always that there's always that awkward moment of, okay, I'm going to look really insensitive if I don't, but like now they all know he's okay. So they're like, I don't need him to get sick. It's like whenever my son's like doing something and I'm podcasting or whatever, I go, don't you break your leg, because I don't want to have to take you to the hospital. Just kind of joking around, but anyway.
So David and Sunday were standing there, and Sunday said, all right, Paul, get up. David said, all right, Paul, go get in the helicopter. Sunday said, Paul, get up. David said, Paul, go get in the helicopter.
And then David said, I feel so guilty saying this, and I'm glad Paul didn't have a heart attack, but honestly, when he went down, I thought, this might be a good thing for me.
Well, yeah. Well, being a Survivor fan, nobody's ever passed away on the American version of Survivor. Mm-hmm. So it's always been a matter of Survivor meds are super fast. They get in there, they save the day. And if he goes, that makes the numbers a little more even.
Yeah.
If it happens to go that way. Yeah. I think the world of Paul, but if he happens to walk out of the game today, it really wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I don't take anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know that some of those people, even Sunday was thinking, this is not good. He's got to stay.
That's right.
I don't care how you feel. Get up and go drink some water. Get back in the game.
Yeah. David, let's get to possibly one of the best challenges ever. There wasn't land anywhere in sight, camera sight.
Mm-hmm.
It was just beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful ocean and things the wobbly stand on.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
And they are bone dry, so a boat dropped them off.
Oh, yeah, obviously a boat dropped them off. Yeah. But, just, oh, my goodness, what a beautiful location. So here's the challenge, which I love this challenge. There's no puzzle, all right? So it's all athletic. The whole thing is athletic and a little bit of carnival game at the end.
Yeah.
Swim, climb, jump for a key.
Mm-hmm.
Use the keys to get the mask. Use the mask to get the rings. Use the rings to win the carnival game. Bravo, production. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Bravo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's one good giant challenge.
That's right. Man, that was good. And Hannah sits out. Don't know why, but she sat out. So
she might not be a water fan.
Yeah. Do you have any other comments about the challenge?
Just a note to future contestants: if you can't swim, if you don't like going deep underwater, getting rings out, go down, touch the ring, swim back up. Save time. Don't mess around with it. Do your one turn of going in the water and then get out of the water.
Yeah, because they all three have to do it once.
But I just was so expecting Millennials to pull this out, and I was so happy when they didn't. This was amazing. Good on CC, and good on Ken for making those rings. And if we don't see all the misses, but every time we heard them yell, that's when they're yelling for the miss to get tossed back, to come back. But Gracie asked, she was thinking about Kara Moen when we found out later that some people jumped and jumped and jumped, and they had to jump and knock something loose and get something to fall, and people had to jump multiple times. Remember that, Kara Moen?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I wonder if anybody missed on these jumps. And I said, I don't think so, because they're pretty even. If somebody missed, it would have been the same two people that missed, because it looked like they were right with each other as they're getting to it. I love David getting stuck up there and thinking about it. As soon as he stopped and they brought the camera back, I'm like, can he even reach that key?
Yeah, really.
Why did they put him in that position? So
he's like, guy. I just want to kind of step off. The idea of jumping off this thing.
Exactly. So that was good. But that was a great challenge. I thought it was good.
I love Probst going, Chris is ripping through the water. And Hannah goes, Michelle, you're ripping through the water too.
There's a friendship there. There's a connection.
Well,
Paul
Mike
did a nice comeback in that challenge.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Mike K in the chat room says, Hannah said she really wanted to play but didn't want to go against the decision to have her sit out. So, she's just
That's not good. That's not a good feeling, though, that they want you to sit out.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Gen X ends up winning the all-physical challenge. Go figure. Against the younger millennials.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And then Mari says, we want to blindside Figgy. Which means there will not be a blindside of Figgy.
Yep. I wrote that down, too.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. All right. Day 7. Millennials, obviously, because they're the ones going home. Zeke is happy to be going to tribal council. I'm so glad.
No, never. If ever, never want to go to tribal council.
Oh, man. So there's a general consensus that Figgy's going home. You got Hannah, Zeke, and Mari talking Figgy. Will, Hannah, and Michaela talking Figgy. Everybody's pretty much thinking Figgy's going home. In fact, Jay's even kind of like, oh, well, Figgy's going home. Which, first of all, why are they telling Jay?
Okay.
And why are they telling Michelle? Why?
Well, they didn't tell Michelle. Jay told Michelle. But
why are they telling Jay?
This is what I want to talk about, because I missed something the first time I watched it. I misunderstood what Zeke said. Because when Zeke spoke to Jay and Adam, he said we need to break up the twosome. Right. And I think most people presume he's talking about Taylor and Figgy. But he also could be talking about Figgy and Michaela, as in these two get going at it. This is just a thought. This is just, I'm interpreting. Zeke goes on to say, with Figgy gone, we can pull Michaela into the group. If not, she's next. When I first heard it, I thought he meant Michelle, as in, can we put with, not Figgy, but can we pull Michelle in and get her to vote with us?
Yeah.
And then Jay just went along with whatever Zeke said and went with it. But he said, with Figgy gone, we can pull Michaela into the group, as in Michaela would be okay joining us if Figgy's not there.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. If not, and then Jay adds in, she's next. So the plan that Jay went to Figgy and Michaela with wasn't a made-up plan. It was Zeke's actual plan. I did not. I must be the only person that missed it. I did not catch that the first time. Yeah. I thought Michelle and Jay came up with this plan to say Michaela was next. They went to it with fear. Okay.
Right.
So,
No,
but
Zeke
it was
had said that.
But
right.
I'm totally with you. This makes me wonder. I wrote down why tell Jay.
Yeah.
And but when Zeke's talking to him, he's talking about bringing people into their group, which makes it sound like Zeke and Jay and Adam have a group, as if they've talked off away from what we've seen in the edit.
Right.
There has to be some connection there between Zeke and Adam and Jay that we just haven't seen yet, because they're talking about bringing them into our group.
Which would mean that Jay's playing a better game. I mean, we certainly heard him talking a smarter game tonight.
Yes, he got a little bit better strategic edit tonight. But the only reason Zeke's not a dummy. Zeke's not going to go up to Taylor and say, hey, we're voting out your girl. But he might go up to somebody that he believes he can trust in Jay.
Yeah.
And go from there. So that's what I kind of got out of there. So is there a Jay-Zeke alliance? And who is this group that Zeke wants to bring in Michaela if they vote out Figgy? You know, I don't think he went to Jay to reach out. He went to Jay because I think they have an alliance. That's just a guess.
There you go.
That's my interpretation.
Yeah.
And then Jay tells Michelle, which is risky, because Zeke apparently didn't say, Jay, don't tell Michelle. But Jay went and told Michelle everything. And see, this is another link. I think Jay likes his link with Michelle, not for the reason Taylor and Figgy like each other. I think Jay's got somebody he can trust. And this is Michelle playing an amazing social game. This is Michelle. Michelle's got a link to Figgy. She's got a link to Jay. She's got a link to Will. She's got a link to Hannah. Mm-hmm. She's got links to all these people. And I think that's really good. So, and Michelle makes the smart decision of, all right, this is not good for us. That puts us on the bottom side of numbers. And Jay's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So Michelle's like, well, we got to flip the vote.
Yeah.
We got to do something different. Excellent play.
Yeah. She says we need Figgy and Michaela to kiss and make up because we need. Well, go ahead. But you were doing a much better job than I am. Go ahead.
Well, I love, and this is me personal. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and I'm going to heaven when I pass. This is a Christian thing to do. When you got two people that are fighting, you bring them together. And if you have to, you bring a third person, like Jay.
You think that's
Jay
why she did? I don't think that's why she did it.
Not at all. But morally, it was the right thing to do for two people that are fighting, especially if you want them to come together.
Well, you're right, but I don't think she was. I see. Like I said earlier, I think she's in game mode. So I think it was a smart thing to do in the game. Yeah. For sure.
I agree. But I like how this was the right thing to do in life.
It was also the right thing to do in life. Although, I mean, Michaela and either that or Michaela and Figgy are great actors at Tribal Council, you know, but which they did. But
I don't think Michaela was acting too much.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Being real. Yeah.
They are still pretty upset with themselves, with each other.
Right. But I liked Jay pretty much told Figgy and Michaela what Zeke said.
Yeah.
And about Michaela being next, and the last thing they said was, we need Will.
Yeah. He said Figgy first for running the show, and then Michaela, because she's an easy vote.
Right. I mean, he flat out took Zeke saying, well, if she doesn't come along, we have to do her next.
Right.
And Jay smartly said, you're second. She's first, you're second.
And, you know, I mean, he probably used a little bit of a dramatic license.
No, but good on him if he did.
So they're like, okay, so we need to be 6 strong. Jay, Figgy, Michaela, Michelle, Taylor, and Will. We need Will. Right.
Right. So that's when Michaela's got to make a good decision. She can stay with the Misfits if she trusts them, or if she's trusting Jay. At the same time, she could be playing with a group that she can do better with. She can handle better. Like Michaela said, she knows Figgy and how she plays.
Yeah.
So, and if you work with Figgy, you're controlling Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, because Figgy's got him wrapped around her finger.
So, and then the next thing we get is, yes, she does. Michelle talks to Will. And I love Will. It's like he's trying to be this old guy, the way he talks. And I understand your logic. It's a little confusing right now,
right?
But I understand your point behind it. And she flat out says, "Look, we know who Figgy is. I said this earlier. We know who Figgy is. We can deal with her later. Mari is the one that scares me. She's dangerous."
But then Will's like, "Yeah, but she could be like a poverty and come back, you know, and win the game."
Ooh, that could be the winner's line. You know, the winner quote. Figgy could come back and win the game. She figures it out. Maybe they vote out Taylor. Maybe there's a shuffle or something, and Taylor gets voted out in the other one, and she turns. Ooh, that'd be interesting.
So I love how Michelle gets. You know, they've got their 6, but before they go to tribal, she says, "I'm not sure we have the numbers. I'm not 100% sure about Will, so I may have to do some work at tribal council."
This is Kim Spradlin level. This is a Kim level quotes here. Michelle's like, tribal council, we will draw a line. The line will be drawn. People will see what's going on. But like you said, not sure we have. It was a perfect lead in. I'm not sure we have the numbers. She doesn't know if she can trust Michaela.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. It was Michaela she wasn't sure about.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
So they had Will, so it was 5-5.
All right. Woo. All right. Tribal council. Adam is like totally taken aback. I mean, as I would be, as you would be. You know,
yeah.
This place is unbelievable. I'm actually, they ought to just take all of them to tribal council before the show.
Well, then you wouldn't get the reaction.
Yeah, I know.
Poor Hannah, she's having to deal with all kinds of things, and the fact that she's at an actual tribal council.
Right.
But I wrote down whatever's being said, I really don't care. Because once Michaela started cracking wise on Figgy, that's when the real conversation happened. And it wasn't on Jeff's microphone.
Right.
So, and then as they're doing this, I'm thinking about the middle schoolers I teach Sunday school in, where I've got 3 conversations going on where I'm trying to teach one thing. And I got groups of people talking all over the place.
Yeah. Hannah's like, some people are hugging more than others. It's kind of, people are like really hugging each other and stuff.
It's kind of like, blah, blah, blah. Go to somebody else, please. Thank you. I don't know the answer to whatever you just asked me. But it was edited well. I'm not sure if it happened this way, but as soon as Michaela, unless you want to add something else, as soon as Michaela started talking about Figgy and Figgy got a little nervous looking, Michelle said, you know what? I probably don't have Michaela. I got to get Hannah.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was awesome. And I wrote down Michelle's thoughts, and then I wrote down a Hannah thought. But for Michelle, I wrote, wasn't sure about Michaela, would stick to the plan and goes after Hannah for an insurance vote, even though she had Will. Right. So the numbers are going to be close anyway. But more likely, I like the idea of Michelle, and I give her credit for this. I don't think she wanted Hannah to be left out at the same time. She was nervous about the vote. She probably had enough votes, but she wanted to make sure that the person she's close with, I think Hannah, like we saw in the prayer video we talked about last week, I think Hannah and Michelle are very close.
Right.
I think Michelle's close with a lot of people, but I think she really likes Hannah, and she did not want to leave her out of the vote. They go back to camp the next day, that night, and Hannah's going to be perplexed because the last thing they talked about, Figgy was going home.
Right.
And suddenly it's not Figgy anymore.
Right.
So I think she left. I mean, Zeke and Adam will be left out, but that's because they didn't sit near Michelle.
Yeah. It was really interesting to watch that whole conversation going on while tribal council's going on. I mean, we haven't really seen, well, more so in recent seasons, but that's not something that happens a lot, which is kind of cool. That means tribal council's changing. People are going in there and willing to talk while you're there, which I like.
And I love that Hannah stuck to her guns. Give me a reason. I can't just do that. That's my friend. That's the person we're going to keep, and
she did not stick to her guns.
No.
She eventually gave in.
But she kind of ran out of time. She didn't have much choice, but Michelle stuck to her guns and said, trust me. Trust me. It's going to happen later. I think Hannah made the right move. It gets her on the right side with the majority.
Right.
And with enough votes, Mari is kind of a non-factor now since she's out of the game. She's not on the jury. So she stuck with the right person. Michelle might owe her later. Maybe she can ask a favor of her later. But definitely the right move for Hannah to move. She didn't have to vote that way because they had the votes, but it was the right move for her to go that way. Now she's just got to deal with Zeke and Adam.
Yeah, and how about Mari's reaction? I mean, if I'm at tribal council and there's 2 people over there whispering, I'm not just assuming they're talking about silly stuff. I mean, she totally thought she was safe.
Well, yeah, because when they came up there, it was Jay and Michelle and Hannah were probably all in for Mari at one point. Now, Michelle wasn't and Jay wasn't, but they thought they were. Wow. It was everybody against Figgy, so to speak. So what would have made me really nervous was Hannah taking a long time at the voting booth.
Yeah.
That's when Mari should have been like, this is not good. They've done something, and if I don't know what they've done, then I'm the target.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't know, but how do you know you're the target?
Because you weren't told who to vote for, who to change your vote for.
Well, that's true.
If you're not in the planning, like Rachel last week, if you're not in that alliance that's forming in front of you, you're the target.
Well, Zeke, Mari, and Adam, so that leaves Zeke and Adam are like on their own next week. They're like hoping for something, or we hope we don't lose. or we better get Michaela and Figgy really fighting or something because we are on the outs.
Well, yeah, because it depends on how close everybody is to one another. Like you just said, they got to either go to Michaela or they go to Hannah and find out why Hannah changed her vote. You know, maybe they're closer to Hannah, and it looks like they do talk to her about it, but she's got to explain what happened, and then they'll maybe go to Michelle. I don't know. It really should be interesting. It's an interesting group.
Yeah. By the way, Tina's leaving the group, leaving the chat room. She has to go eat breakfast because it's whatever time in the world it is over there in Jakarta. So, bye, Tina. Thanks for stopping by the chat room. So, in time to vote, Zeke, Mari, and Adam vote Figgy. Everyone else votes for Mari, including Hannah, who took several minutes to vote. And I know you're thinking, well, a couple minutes isn't that long. It is that long. If I was to sit here and just us be quiet for 3 minutes, you would understand how long that is.
Oh, if I'm quiet for 30 seconds, you're really ticked off.
No, 5 seconds. I mean, when we're doing a show, you can't have that. Well, anyway, but that's another story. But yeah, I mean, out there, most people are going in there. It probably takes 30 seconds, 30, 45 seconds at the most.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Bruce had a good comment in the chat room. He says, I think Hannah hurt herself down the road by taking so long. Kind of like Aubrey hurt herself crossing out a name. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll never know.
Well, no.
What do you think Hannah's chances are? I think her chance is sticking with Michelle.
Well, I don't think she's going to. Yeah, I think she's got a good in with Michelle, so I think she's in good shape. I don't see her going like next or soon.
Oh,
so
no.
She's at least merge.
Yeah.
So, Mari is blindsided, uses a millennial term, salty, which I have heard my own children use.
I have not.
Yeah. And Zeke and Adam are like, what? What? What?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Zeke, I thought you wanted to go to tribal council. Oh, that's right. You didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mari had said right after the immunity challenge that Figgy was going to go, and there's, I hate crushing people's dreams, but it's got to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, boy. That's going to turn out the way you want.
So great episode, I thought. I mean, any episode of Survivor is a good episode to me, right? I enjoy watching it. And this one had some elements that made it even more enjoyable to me. It had the medical team coming out there. It had the high stress of that. It had the, bickering between people. It had the great Survivor moves by Michelle. Great challenge, beautiful camera shots and everything. It was just, it had the redemption story. We had an idol found. So many good things in this episode.
Yeah.
So, anyway, excellent.
Good indeed.
Excellent. Do you have anything else to say about the episode before we move on?
No, very good.
All right.
Hey guys, this is Jennifer, and I just wanted to steal a moment during my favorite podcast to remind you to use D&D's Amazon link when you shop at Amazon. Not only do you get everything you need at Amazon, you're also helping D&D continue their great podcasts. So always use www.stwdd.com/Amazon when you start your shopping. Or make it even easier and just use their links on their website and the D&D Facebook group. That's all I wanted to say. Now back to more D&D.
Now, Bruce says in the chat room, totally misconstrued. I wonder if he means misused.
The use of salty?
The use of, I don't know. No, he's right. Totally misconstrued the use of salty. To old guys, salty means experienced. I was like, what? Oh, he totally misconstrued the use of salty. Yeah, salty now means like, I'm like irritated with you. I'm upset with you. It doesn't mean experienced. So apparently to old guys like Bruce, salty meant experienced. You're muted, David. Did you know that? Did you know you're muted?
Yes.
No, you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, I did. I knew that. I knew it.
No, you did not. No.
I just didn't act on it. I knew it.
Bruce,
I was being quiet for 30 seconds.
How old are you, Bruce? Why don't you tell us how old you are? I'd never heard the word salty until my kids started using it. Like when my son will make his girlfriend upset, she's like, I'm salty with you. You know?
Yeah. And when you say salty about why, I think crusty old man. That's what I was thinking.
So it's time for listener feedback, which is sponsored by Buff USA. Get your official Millennials versus Gen X Survivor buffs over at buffusa.com/SurvivorTalk33. Use that promo code. You'll get 10% off. Use our link so they'll know that we sent you, and you'll get 10% off. You'll also get free shipping on orders over $40. We are going to give away a buff. Buff USA will send one of our listeners who sent feedback in tonight and met the criteria that I put on Facebook and Twitter. They will get a buff from Buff USA. So as soon as we get done with the feedback, we're going to draw the name. We're going to do the random drawing. Siri's going to pick a random number, and that person's going to get an actual official Season 33 buff. So there you go. All right, David, it's time for feedback. Episode 2 feedback, Wendy from California. This is an interesting feedback, y'all. What, David?
I thought we had music. We don't have any lead-in music or anything for
feedback? No.
Okay.
No.
How long have we been doing this show? 276 episodes?
Yeah. Now, y'all, this, David, do you want to explain this first? It's not really feedback to us.
No, I'm just going to read it. It came into our feedback email box, and I'm going to read it as it is.
Yes, this is an email we got earlier this week before the show even aired. Go ahead, David.
Okay, here we go. Love your show. But could you have the males wear board shorts? The men running around in their underwear is really not good or family friendly. Thanks, Wendy.
That's enough. We don't need to tell anymore.
From California. Oh, yeah, I wasn't good anymore.
So apparently she thinks that we are CBS. Either that or she knows what I podcast in. So it's one of those.
Too much information.
It's one of those two. So, Wendy, we are not CBS. Do not email us. You know, I think we've gotten 3 emails like that in the 3 years we've been doing this. I got another email once that said, all these women running around, y'all need to stop doing that. CBS is horrible. And I'm like, I'm not CBS.
Yeah, I had a guy Wednesday night say, I'd love to see a Death Valley survivor where they really got to survive, or maybe a survivor in Alaska. I said, there's no bathing attire in Alaska. He says, you think they're really? Oh, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
Bruce said, haha, I thought she meant you guys are pantless during the podcast.
Well, even if we were, we wouldn't be running around.
Oh, man. All right, this one's from Mark. Oh, here we go. Could we have back-to-back Michelle winners? Great move by Michelle to target someone else. Questionable to have Mari as the target. Because she can be helpful in challenges, but smart because she is strategic. It was brought up in another group about the error of Zeke, Adam, and Mari for targeting the showmance, and they should have aligned with them, since they are easy targets post-merge. With the twist coming up, which I'm assuming will be dividing the tribes into 3 tribes, it may be less of an issue, but of course they didn't know it was coming. Love the Ken-David alliance and sad to see Mari go, but always happy to see great gameplay. Mark. I think that's Mark Percy. Is that you, Mark?
Yeah.
The
The only thing about them joining the showmance is that would put them 5th and 6th, because the showmance is actually 4. To me, it's 4, and Will could actually be 5th, so that would put them 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you kind of are hoping for a shuffle or swap coming up.
Right.
You may not be. You're hoping just to run the gamut, but I don't know. There's so many possibilities that could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it could have worked.
Yeah. All right, here we have Chris from Madison.
Hey, this is Chris from Madison. Just calling about the latest episode that I am still reeling about what the heck just went on. I mean, for someone to get robbed that badly in this game, she did not deserve that at all. I mean, seriously, how the heck does Lucy not get a single confessional in 2 episodes in a row, especially the first 2? No, but in all seriousness, guys, I am still trying to figure out how the heck this happened. And you know what? I saw a friend of mine post this, and I do have to give props to Michelle for pulling this out of nowhere and basically flipping the vote just by straight up confusion. It's crazy how that can work in a situation like this. I see parallels right now with Hannah to actually Aubrey last year. I agree that this is probably her such indecisiveness is what you can pretty much relate that to Aubrey crossing out her vote at her tribal council on Korong. So I'm not so sure about Hannah's chances even going further, because this can be a killer, especially this early in the game. Hopefully a tribe swap or merge will help her. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But I am, just as Mari said, I'm salty. She was my winner pick. And so many, I'm pretty sure that everybody in our pick challenge probably is fuming right now because Mari was, I think I saw in the Facebook group that she was the most popular picked one, and we all just lost her. So that's kind of insane. But hey, you know what? I gotta give props to. I can't believe I'm saying this because I told you guys how much I hate it. I gotta give props to the Triforce for pulling this off out of nowhere. And I think the biggest, you know what? Honestly, if there's anyone to blame, I guess it was Zeke. I don't know if Zeke and Adam didn't tell Jay what they were planning, I don't think this would have gone. I guess it's obvious enough between Figgy and Taylor that they're a thing that they didn't factor Jay into that at all. I don't know. Maybe there's something we're missing from the edit, but you know. I think that's where everything went wrong, is that they actually caught on. If they actually kept it a blind side, if they actually didn't kept it within themselves and didn't actually go to Jay, this Figgy would be gone 6-4 or even 7-3. So who knows? As for the Gen X guys, not really much to say. I knew it. I called it. Everybody else called that Paul was going down, but I called that there was going to be no medevac. I pretty much assumed that we're all just overreacting after wrong. And David finding the idol and somehow touching Ken. That's just weird. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to me ramble, because I'm still processing this episode, and it may take me a couple days to actually fully process after my anger goes away with Mari about Mari going home. So thank you guys. Bye.
Hey, so if you're still processing and want to add more, go to our Facebook group and drop a family-friendly post on there, and we'll keep discussing it there.
Yeah.
I have
job,
just
David.
two quick things. I've focused so much on seeing group. I still think, and we said it earlier, so I'm being redundant, but I still think Zeke and Jay had some sort of connection where Zeke didn't want Jay to be left out. He didn't want to have to deal with that, kind of like Michelle didn't want Hannah to be left out. But the other thing is, I don't agree that the Triforce pulled this out, because officially the Triforce is Jay, Figgy, and Taylor. They did not pull this out. Figgy, I think Jay was resigned to go with Figgy going until he spoke to Michelle. I think Michelle's the one, the Uno Force, that pulled this out. So I would only disagree to say that I think Michelle is the one that did this and not the Triforce. The Triforce was fortunate Michelle stepped up for him, or else one of them would have been gone.
Yeah, I agree completely. I agree completely, David. Thank you, Chris Diorio. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He's one of our new patrons. So, and
I think he's the one that posted that spoiler video slideshow on our group and said flat out that there is a spoiler in here. So thanks for doing that the way you did.
Yeah, and if that scares you, you're thinking, oh, I can't join their group because there's spoilers. No. Anybody that posts anything that might be spoilerish, that is from CBS, by the way. They always put on there, be careful and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Go ahead, David. You got the next one.
Yep, I got Bart. And this is between a teenage daughter who thinks she is 16 and a newborn that wants to be fed. It is amazing that I was able to write down some notes on tonight's episode, so here it goes. First off, David digging for rocks and using it as a cover for idol searching was quite smart and may prove to keep him in the game. Although I don't know if I would have shared info about the idol so quickly, still it was a great alibi. It's weird because every time I read somebody talking about David,
I know it's really inconvenient.
Yeah, it is. So, wait till we get to Dwaine. As soon as I saw Foggy, and I did say Foggy, who was actually the lawyer with Daredevil, I guess he meant Figgy. As soon as I saw Figgy locking lips with Taylor, I thought she was out for sure, and Jay is not as clueless as he appears to be. Over on the Gen X tribe, Ken is the ruling 8 tentacles master. Not sure if I would be hungry enough after 6 days. Not sure if I would be hungry enough after 6 days to eat octopus. As Jimmy Fallon says, ooh, you know what? After 2 days, I'd probably be hungry enough to eat octopus.
Dude, man, octopus is calamari.
Yeah.
I love calamari.
That's squid.
Well, whatever. And Jimmy Fallon goes, ew! Not ew.
Know.
Have you not ever seen the Jimmy Fallon skit? Ew!
Apparently not.
Man, you know what? You're just old.
I get up at 4:50 every morning, so I can't stay up that late.
Oh, no, you watch him on YouTube. I've yet to watch Jimmy Fallon on TV. I just
when I'm
see
at
him
work,
on YouTube.
I can't watch YouTubes. I can't watch YouTube videos.
Okay, I don't watch it at work. Gosh.
I just know that bugs you.
I don't, and I don't want to get in trouble, so... I heard on the podcast that you do all your Survivor stuff and you watch TV and YouTube while you're at work.
You told me today you watched the show twice today.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that happened.
All right. At the challenge, David nearly cost his tribe the challenge, but the 8 tentacle one saves the day with help from Cece, who may have staved off her elimination by her performance and by her newfound alliance with David and Ken.
Apparently, Bart is a fan of Cece's Pizza because he spelled Cece like Cece's Pizza.
Yes. And I don't know if a challenge good work would save her if she had been on the bottom. No offense to Cece, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I was glad to see Cece and Ken knock that out. That was awesome.
Right.
And of course, since I am one, I can say this: the old farts win.
Yeah.
At Tribal Council,
can I tell you a fun? Saying the word farts makes me think of my assistant at work.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
No. Because well, let me finish the story.
You're so gonna get busted for that one.
She considers fart as like a horrible word. Like worse than any other word.
Yeah.
Like she hears that word.
There's some really worse words.
Yeah, she hears that word and she's just like, oh, no, you can't say that. So my son, we were at a mission thing once, and my son Joshua goes, Miss Kimberly's mad at me because I used the F word. And I'm like, what? But it was fart. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just think that's funny.
Oh, boy. Back to Bart's feedback. At Tribal Council, the little side conversation. Bart, what did I say?
Back to farts. Back to Bart. No,
okay.
No, you didn't, but go ahead.
Okay. At Tribal Council, the little side conversation was fun to watch, reminding me of high school whispers in the corner that the teacher does not see yet. Hannah nearly collapsing in the voting booth was great. I did find myself looking at the shell, and I think I heard somewhere that they should hide a clue
yes.
or an immunity idol in the shell.
I thought of that too.
Yeah, I even was looking to see if somehow that had been incorporated.
That would have been incredible.
Yes. What a great blindside, especially since Hannah almost pulled it off the table.
Yeah.
That would have been funny if she flipped it and the idol was in there. What a great blindside is Mari had no clue she was even being considered. I was glad to see that Paul was okay. Hate to see someone get taken out of the show for medical reasons. Can't wait for next week's episode. Bart.
Thank you, Bart. And I forgot to do the applause on the earlier ones, so none of the later ones get applause either.
Okay.
We'll just do one big applause at the end, like you're at graduation.
Yeah, right.
Next we have Lucky. That's how David spelled it. I have no idea who this is from.
Oh, this is Emily.
It's the guy. I know who it is. All right.
It's Emily.
Yes.
Right?
Hello.
His email just says Loki, whatever it says.
Yeah, I think that's his dad or something. It's not his email address.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to everybody for not being able to write any feedback so far. Dude, it's just episode 2. It's okay. It's because I was busy with stuff. That's what people do, right? I have loved this season so far, and my favorites are Ken, Will, and Adam, and they seem to be doing really well, at the moment at least. I don't care much for the Taylor, Jay, Michelle, and Figgy group, but I was still okay with Mari going home. And they are okay, but I like the Superfan group more. I really like both tribes, but I like the Millennials more. I like David as a character and a player, and I think that he will stay in the game for a long time. I really like the underdogs in both tribes, but with that said, I also like the majorities. Where is Lucy? Boy, she really ticked off Jeff and the producers. My winner pick is Chris, based on the edits and confessionals. Predictions. Underdogs will get in power, and Paul will get voted out. That's a pretty good prediction. Mm-hmm. And about Lucy, I just don't think she's talking. I think they go, okay, let's do a confessional, and she sits there and looks at them. Or they ask her a question, she gives one answer or nods.
Yeah.
Let's go, Finnish squad. And no, that's not a Finnish ice hockey team, but it's my Survivor D&D Facebook challenge team name. See you. Nope, sorry. Hear you guys later. This was your fan from Finland, Nakamin. I don't remember what Nakamin means, but Nakamin back at you.
See you later,
something
or
like
see
that.
you next time, or something like that. Yeah.
Or I think it means D&D are awesome. I think that's what it means.
There you go. You know what? Lucy probably goes for a confessional, and she goes, I don't have anything to say because nobody talks to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. We're not going to tribal because we won.
I just kind of follow people around and nod. And head them. I just follow people around looking like, what? Where? And then I hand people things.
And I go get the rings.
All
right. So then now we go to Dave from New Jersey. Aloha from the backwoods of New Jersey with some episode 2 feedback.
There's backwoods in New Jersey?
Apparently, and they say aloha.
Wow.
From there.
Wow, Dave.
It's a very cultural area. I am comfortable enough to admit that my view of my namesake Dave last week was misguided when I said he was due for a snuffing. I couldn't have been more wrong. His emergence like a phoenix from his previous fearful self is complete. Bravo. Maybe not so much, but his position did definitely improve with his impressive idol finding and fire making. Color me impressed. Although I will say in the challenge, after he jumped into the water to get the key and started frantically doggy paddling, I thought he was going to sink like a stone and we'd never see Dave again.
The key's too heavy. It's pulling me down.
Whenever Jay gets a confessional and the words real estate agent pop up on the screen, I cannot help thinking there's no way I'd ever buy a home from that kid. That's awesome. Will obviously knows at least some Survivor history. Comparing Figgy to Parvati, I can live with. Both are attractive females. Both can flirt. I can see some parallels. But comparing Figgy to Cochran, I don't think I could come up with a more polar opposite players than those two. Thanks, D&D. Until next time, David Holdsworth.
Dave Holdsworth. By the way, for those of you who are still confused, the first feedback was not about us. It was about the show. It was a misguided person who thought they were emailing CBS, and we're not. Okay. Stop asking me which one of us is in our underwear.
Is this in the chat room?
I got a thing on my phone from somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have been... Forget it. I'm not even going to tell you. All I got to say is, you don't see me from the waist down. And it's hot in this room.
Oh, no.
Bruce says...
No, he's not going to prove anything.
Prove now. I actually am wearing shorts tonight because I didn't want anybody... I needed to be able to honestly say that I'm wearing shorts. So... All right, anyway. Will the Giant Ninja... Oh, what's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. So it's an interesting time in the Giant Ninja land these days. The Cubs have won 100 games and are favorites to win the World Series for the first time in, 108 years. Oi. To keep me grounded, the Bears are a very solid 0-3, and the Hawks lost their preseason opener. But it's shaping up to be an interesting October. And unlike last week, I watched the whole episode before giving my feedback. How about that? I figured it was the least I could do. So without further ado, here goes. Number 1, Dear Next Time On. Nice fake out last week. Seriously, I bought in. The way you included David's "this could be great for me" was awesome. I figured the heart attack was Paul. As an old fat white guy, I get to say that. But I didn't even imagine he wouldn't be pulled. Dear David, way to go. He's talking about the David in the show, David.
I know. Nobody's ever talking about me.
Okay. Dear David, way to go. You're a treat to watch, and I was legitimately psyched to see you find the hidden immunity idol. If you were a millennial, I would have said, sicky, sicky, nar, nar, bro. But you're not. Dear Ken, it's great to find a ride or die pair early, and it's probably due to the fact that I really like David that I'm happy to see you find one in him. But regardless, kudos. You correctly identified that you are on the outside looking in, and you are building a coalition for a hostile takeover. That's Survivor, and I love to see it. Number 4, Dear Jay, you're right, dude. Power couples never last on Survivor. Seriously, I can't think of a single time a couple met on the island, fell for each other, and stayed loyal to the end. Good call. It's probably never happened. Hey, Dwaine and David, do you think the Cubs will face off against Boston in the World Series? Think they can rob a win or two in Beantown? Amber alert. That was good. Are you paying attention, or are you texting somebody?
I am.
Okay.
Nope.
Because that was funny.
That was good.
Yeah. Dear Figgy, 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 somehow I don't think you're falling in love. Maybe it's the cynic in me, but I just don't see it. Tay-Tay might be, or he might be letting himself think he is, but I think you're more pragmatic than that. I think you're having fun, but you're also playing him. I think you'd cut him in a second if you had to, and I love it. Kudos. Number 6, Dear Newton. Tay-Tay's new name is Newton because he goes with Figgy. I'm not on the island, so I admit that I don't know everything. But you don't come across as someone playing the game. You come across as someone who's participating in the game. You're making friends and finding love and having fun, but you're someone's pawn. Wake me up when you start playing. Number 7, Dear Zeke. I get wanting to build a coalition, but you knew that Figgy, Newton, Jay, and Michelle were the cool kids. You knew that they were isolating themselves. Why did you tell Taylor and Michelle about the plan to vote out Figgy? You didn't need their votes. You had 6. Just let things be. Make a coalition next week. Explain the vote next week. Telling them now gives them time to scramble. It may cost you an ally. David actually addressed his theory on that earlier in the show. Dear Michelle, wow. I underestimated you. Like Figgy, you're playing the game, and you're playing it better than she is. Way to go. Way to reject the status quo and manufacture the vote you want. You protected your alliance in order to protect yourself, and I loved watching it. I wish you had picked another target other than Mari, but that was awesome. Nicely done. I'm looking forward to watching you play going forward. Number 9, Dear Hannah, Aubrey called. She wants her agony in the voting booth back. And like Aubrey, you were wrong to do it. Bad move. Pick a lane and drive. By being wishy-washy, you don't gain any of the upside of the new alliance or the loyalty of the old alliance. The only caveat I'd add to that is that Michelle wouldn't tell you why to change your vote. And so maybe you gain Michelle's trust. But boy, did you hurt your standing with Zeke and company. And number 10, Dear Mari, I'm so sad to see you go, for selfish reasons. I was really looking forward to watching you play, and you made for a great early narrator. But mostly I was hoping to use you to get my son, Jack, the biggest tiny ninja, into Survivor. He's a gamer, and he has watched your channel. When I told him you were on the season, he was legitimately interested. He hasn't watched last night's episode yet, and I won't tell him what happened, but I doubt he'll watch next week. Ugh. Well, that's good for now. See what I can bring to the table when I, watch the episode. Later, peeps. Will at the Giant Ninja.
You brought up an interesting point about, like Figgy, number 8, Michelle, like Figgy, you're playing the game, but you're playing it better than she is. So it's going to come out about her play to Hannah to get this vote changed. Even if Zeke goes to Jay and says, what happened? And I went to Michelle. Figgy got saved because they don't think she's a threat game-wise, only as a power couple. But Michelle just made a big play that people are eventually going to find out about, which makes Michelle the more dangerous player.
Okay.
So I wonder if that's going to come up later. It just made me think of that when he was writing that.
Right. All right, our next feedback is from Mere I Am.
Hi, Dave and Dwayne. Sending you lots of love. This is Mere I Am, also known as Vader Girl. I just wanted to give a little bit of my feedback from last night's episode. First of all, I want to say that I think Paul is a little bit of a stretch to be considered Gen X. I'm wondering if Probst did it for his own ego boost, because, come on now, he's a little bit maybe boomer. He might have been alive in Generation X, but I'm not trying to be mean. Paul's great. He won't last long, I don't think, but he's not Gen X, and he kind of makes us look older. So that's just side note. But I was really happy for Dave, and I'm so happy I picked him for my fantasy team. Whoop, 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 whoop. And also Ken, who is very bae, and I love the power duo with them. I picked him for my fantasy team as well. Though I did lose a fantasy team member in Mari, though I think it was Andy or David or Dwayne or somebody said that she was going to go out early anyways because she was going to play too hard. Maybe it was Steve Helling. I don't know. But rock on, whoever said that. Yeah, I picked her, lost her. But I also picked Figgy, and I picked her boyfriend, Jay. So I guess I've got two people in a power alliance there. Sending you lots of love. May the force be with you. Bye.
May the force be with you, David.
I was trying to find that list to see who Steve picked for his team. I don't remember.
Oh, I don't remember who he picked.
I'm going to look for it. Who's reading the next one? I'm reading the next one. I'll look for it later.
Yeah. Look for it later.
Steve, the graphic artist in New York. Hey, D&D. Hope you had a nice summer. Side note, nice game Sunday with the Giants, David.
Mm-hmm.
If you tweet that you're playing the Redskins, I'm probably going to tweet back at you. You guys played good. Too many penalties from New York. I just wish your first win wasn't against the Giants.
This isn't sports talk with D&D.
Haha, good luck this season. Let's go back to last week. Let me say that Legacy Advantage note is so much bull. Sorry.
What?
36 days? The show is over at 39 now? Survivor dropped the ball on that. Nobody's going to care, I feel, about that note until 3 months into the game.
Doesn't matter. That's why I like it.
I like his exaggeration. This reward better be super and amazing if you have to wait 36 days. This week, Gen X making fire. I mean, is it that hard to make a fire with a flint? They said everyone tried to make fire, and David came with the fire. David also found the idol. Back-to-back wins for David. Like you said last week, D&D, that is the note I'd like to see, not the legacy.
Boy, you and Steve just right on the same page with that legacy thing, aren't you?
Did Jay say no couple ever last on Survivor? Ever? Hear of Rob and Amber J? I guess this guy was recruited. Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, not everybody knows every single fact about Survivor. Was he recruited? Do we know that for sure?
Yeah, he told me he was.
Did he?
No.
Okay.
No.
I told you that. All right.
No. But in that same note, knowing everything about Survivor doesn't make you a great Survivor player either. So,
no.
Super fans don't always make the best players.
I don't remember what seasons people played on. You know, so
yeah.
That doesn't mean I don't watch Survivor. It just means I have a horrible memory.
I only know most of the top maybe 7 or 8, but I couldn't tell you the first boots of every season either.
I mean, seriously, that's why.
That's why
so bad.
That's why Steve's a geek. So, what do you think of David showing?
What? Wait. Who are you calling? You're reading Steve's feedback. You just called him a geek?
No, Helling. But anyway.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Sorry,
it ain't
Steve.
no well anyway. I didn't want Steve to think you were calling him a geek.
No, sorry, Steve T. What do you think of David showing he has the idol? I would keep that a secret. Tell no one. Do you think David was trying to buy a relationship maybe? Or trying to solidify
No, I
it?
think David was grabbing on to a friendship and he needed to share it with somebody. David is needing that comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's confident in himself alone.
Yeah.
You know, he needs that extra person, and he sees Ken as someone who's going to help him.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Good point. Medical is called. Paul is down. Scary to see that. Wow. Did David say he was happy to see him down? Not cool, guy. No, he didn't say he was happy to see him down. He just said he wouldn't be hurt if he left the game.
Right.
That should be
He
better.
didn't want him to die or anything.
Yeah. The challenge. Love the water challenge, but one challenge per show. Not happy. Can't wait to see 2 challenges every show. Gen X takes it down. Dang, that water looks amazing.
I agree.
Travel Council. At camp, everyone is talking Figgy. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be her if they were showing this on TV. I liked it when Jeff walked over and looked at Hannah when she was voting. Mari is out. Hashtag salty. Figgy lives on with her boyfriend in the Love Shack. Okay, D&D, catch you next week. Steve, the New York graphic artist.
Yes. Good job, Steve. I love the graphics that you put on in our Facebook group every week. Those are cool. What's with the font, David? What's
just
with the font?
The way it came in. I don't know.
Yeah, but you could still change it so that I can read the stupid thing.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Gosh.
I'll change it right now.
While I'm reading it, that'll be fun. Zumba Kathy from Missouri. Wow, Kathy hasn't left us feedback ever in a long time. I mean, it must be that free buffs people are wanting to get. Kathy, we know where your alliances are. What an awesome... Oh, sorry. What was so awesome about the episode? That's the opposite of what I was saying. What was so awesome about the episode? Let me list some of the ways. Beautiful underwater shots, just wow. The totally out of his element, David, being the hero and starting to fire for Gen X. Then he couldn't break a stick in half. Paranoid David finding the hidden immunity idol during the guise of finding rocks for seats. Ken and David bonding and making an alliance over being socially awkward. By the way, David, next time you do a font like this, you read it. Okay. Paul's almost medevaced. Wait, just kidding. Hydrate more, stupid. Gosh. David's reaction to Paul's almost medevac. A+ to John Kirchhoff for that challenge. The Gen X win was glorious. Ken was the hero, a.k.a. new target post-merge. And Paul had a miraculous recovery. Do you really think everybody grabbed the bag on their first jump? No. But maybe. Number 10, Tribal Council was delish. Michelle, so impressed. Hannah is adorable. Her reactions and answers to Jeff had us rolling. Her hesitation while voting was the best ever. I purposely did not put Figgy and Taylor on this list, and that's all I've got to say about that. Loving the season so far. Thank you, Kathy! See you at the water cooler, Kathy. All right, I think we got one more. Oh, wait, is this your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, David's going to read his daughter's feedback.
She took out one, too. Let me get rid of that. Okay.
What? Why'd you take that out?
Because we talked about it. No, she was taking notes as I was taking notes. And I said, wait a minute, you're not writing a recap feedback, are you? She goes, no. She's not happy because she's a big Mari fan. She was trying to put it back in. So
I can't undo it. I can't put it back in.
I know.
You took it out and I can't put it back.
So Grayson from Farmville. I think it's hilarious how the guy on the bottom always seems to find a saving grace. He either does something to redeem himself, like makes the fire, aligns himself with someone who has an idol, finds an idol himself, or he finds someone who he thinks is better off going home than him and plants the seed. David can start a fire, but he can't break a stick. Smart of him to find something to do while he looks for an idol, but take it from someone who has never played Survivor. Don't run. Way to make yourself look suspicious. I understand voting Mari out because Mari was too smart to stay in, but I wish she would have lasted longer than 2 episodes. Figgy is just as smart as Mari and also good at making the right relationships.
Thank you, Grayson. I have a question for you, David. Did Grayson say she wanted that paragraph taken out, or did you just take it out?
Grayson said she wanted to take it out.
Okay. All right. And does she have you calling her Grayson now, not Gracie?
No, but that's what she goes by, I think, when she got older. She started going by.
So
I still
at
call her
college,
Gracie.
So at college, she's going by Grayson.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I put it so it would sound like somebody different.
Oh, so I kind of ruined it. Sorry. I didn't know you were trying to do that. I'm sorry.
No. I was just kidding.
All right, it's time for the buff giveaway. So David has assigned numbers to all those who qualified. And to qualify, you had to leave a feedback about the episode. You also had to leave it by our deadline, which was 7 p.m. Eastern time. Mm-hmm. And you have to live in the United States because Buff won't send it out of the United States.
And Gracie sent hers purposefully after 7 because she knew she could not win even if she was in the group.
Right, because she's family.
Yeah.
We already have our buffs. All right. So, David, how many numbers do I need to do? And I have tested Siri. If I say between 1 and 5, 1 and 5 are included, even though technically. But I have tested it, and that does work. So.
8 people qualified for the buff drawing.
8 people. Here we go. Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 8.
It's 7.
You heard it, David. Siri called it. 7 is the number. Who is number 7?
Number 7 is Steve from New York, the graphic artist.
Steve from New York. All right, Steve, send me your buff preference from season 33 and the address to which you would like Buff USA to send you the buff. All right? So buffusa.com/SurvivorTalk33 so they'll know that we sent you. And use SurvivorTalk33 as your promo code. This is for everybody else because Steve doesn't have to buy one. And you can get a buff for 10% off. You buy more than 1 or 2 and you get free shipping. So go to buffusa.com/SurvivorTalk33. Yes, David, you look like you want to say something.
I have a feeling we're going to be giving away more Gen X buffs than
Maybe so.
Millennial buffs.
Maybe so. Hey, go on their site and look because there may or may not be another buff on there.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought I'd say that I think's pretty darn awesome.
It's getting warm in here.
It's getting hot in here. Let's use the green buff. Oh, sorry.
You mean the one that's on all the pages?
Yeah. It's time for...
You write them. We read them. iTunes Reviews.
All right, David. I am going to read our 2 new reviews on iTunes. Why leave a review on iTunes? There's a couple of reasons. Number 1, we're going to read it on the air. Number 2, you write reviews, iTunes goes, oh, people are interested in this podcast, and we get a little more better placement.
But you know what? My favorite review still is, whether you write a review or not, they're still going to play the music.
Well, I haven't done that. That's this week, you idiot.
It is? No, I thought it was last week.
No, it's in the notes.
You did. You talked about it Monday or something in the Patreon podcast.
No, I did not. We got it today.
No.
Gosh.
I would have seen it before today.
David, we got it today.
Then how did I know about this?
The first review is from Nabisco 2005. Gave us a 5-star rating and said, absolutely love. When I first heard about the D&D podcast from a friend, I got really excited, thinking it was a Dungeons & Dragons podcast. I was incredibly wrong. But what I did get was a fantastic insight from Dwaine and David on the current season of Survivor. Good, clean commentary and lots of fun. Keep up the good work, guys. Chris D. Oh, that might be Chris Diorio. And, you know, I look really stupid with the buff like this.
Yes, you do.
So. Next, we have Charlie K13 gave us a 5 rating, says, you write them, they read them. That's the title of his thing. And then it says, if you don't, they play the iTunes review song anyway. That's right. We did that last week. Oh, way to go, y'all. Subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, and we'll read it. We appreciate them, and iTunes knows that we're being listened to. How do you get to iTunes? Just go to our website, stwdd.com, and right beside all the featured, you have Survivor Talk with D&D and Movie Talk with D&D logos. Click on the logo or where it says listen on iTunes. In fact, also, I now have it at the top of every new podcast page. There's iHeartRadio, because we're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and iTunes buttons. How you like them apples, David?
Sweet.
You like sweet apples? Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say before I close out the show?
No, just a great episode. I really enjoyed it. It makes it even better talking to all of our friends in the Facebook group. And, of course, talking to you every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Yeah, I am really, really, really enjoying podcasting this season.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bruce said, I only came here when Jason said it's the only podcast he listens to. That's right. Sarge Jason said that, but I bet he listens to ATF too.
Well, yeah.
Because he really had a good time on ATF. Join the fun by being part of our always family-friendly Facebook group at stwdd.com/Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at Survivor_talk. Thank you for shopping Amazon. Thank you so much for using our links. In fact, we just got our probably been August or July commission for Amazon. So thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Every time you shop Amazon using our links or stwdd.com/Amazon, doesn't cost you any extra. And when you buy that TV, we get, like $10 or something. It's great. So thank you very much. If you like our show and you want to contribute a small amount monthly, you can. You can become a D&D patron. Not only do you make a huge difference in our podcast budget each month, but $2 a month and more have access to our D&D extra video each week, which, stay tuned, video watchers, and you'll see something at the end of the show. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. And we now have an always open D&D store. Shirts, hoodies, mugs, etc. Items ship weekly. So head on over and get some stuff. stwdd.com/store or click on the link on our website. If you want something signed, just select pick it up from me and then give us like $8 through PayPal so we can pay for the shipping. Because we have to ship it ship it to me, then to David, then to you. So we got to do all that kind of stuff. So also, David, Teespring sent me an email today and said, make a Stranger Things shirt. So and they're doing, I don't know if anybody's going to buy it, but it says Survivor Things. So if you want a shirt that's black and has Survivor Things that looks like Stranger Things, should be available by the time you listen to this. I don't know how much they're going to charge. I'm not in charge of the shirt. They just did it and put it on my account. So, all right. Thank you for tuning in, sharing our show with others, subscribing on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube, and for being part of our D&D family. If you're playing the Survivor Challenge, the D&D Survivor Challenge on our Facebook group, the big winner this week was David, not our David, but David on the show, with 21 points. And the lowest score this week was, do you know who it was?
It was Will and Hannah with 3 points each.
Oh, now you look at the show notes.
Well, you're wrapping up, so I said I better get on there before he answers.
Oh, man. Enjoy your week, everybody. See you, everybody.
See ya.
I'm a survivor.